My name is Valentina, and I never imagined that being humiliated at a family dinner would lead to exposing the biggest fraud of my life. It started 3 months after my father-in-law Robert passed away. My mother-in-law Linda had been acting strange ever since the funeral. "Valentina, darling, could you come here for a moment?" Linda called from across her living room during Sunday dinner. I walked over and she smiled that cold smile I'd learned to recognize. "I've been cleaning out Robert's office. I found something that belongs to you." She picked up a black trash bag from behind the couch and literally threw it at my feet. It landed with a heavy thud. "What is this?" I asked. "Trash," Linda said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. "Just like everything you've brought into this family. Take your garbage and get out of my house." My husband Marcus jumped up. "Mom, what the hell?" "Don't you dare defend her," Linda snapped. "Your father would be ashamed of you for marrying someone so beneath us." I felt my face burning as Marcus's siblings and their spouses stared. But I bent down and opened the bag anyway. My hands went numb. Inside were stacks of $100 bills, and on top was a handwritten ledger with dates, amounts, and account numbers. "Marcus," I whispered, "you need to see this." He knelt beside me, and I watched his face go pale as he read the ledger. Mom, this is Dad's estate money, from the trust." "Give me that!" Linda lunged forward, but Marcus held it away. His brother Daniel moved closer. "What's going on?" "This is documentation of withdrawals from Dad's trust," Marcus said, his voice shaking. $350,000 over the past 6 months, all to Mom's personal accounts. "That money was mine!" Linda shrieked. "I was Robert's wife!" "Dad's will split the estate 3 ways, Marcus said. "Between you, Daniel, and me. You've been stealing our inheritance." Linda's face went red. "You ungrateful little—" "The date's here," I interrupted, running my finger down the ledger. "They start 2 weeks before Robert died. You were moving money while he was in hospice?" "He was barely conscious," Linda spat. "He didn't need it anymore." Daniel's wife Emma gasped. "Linda, that's horrible." "You have no idea what I sacrificed," Linda shouted. 20 years married to that man, and he was going to split everything with his sons? I deserved that money. "So you embezzled it," Marcus said flatly, "while Dad was dying." "Why did you even have this ledger?" I asked. Linda went silent, realizing her mistake. She'd kept records of her own theft, probably planning to use them for her taxes or to keep track of which accounts she'd drained. "Why throw it at Valentina?" Daniel asked quietly. Linda's eyes darted between us. "I thought it was just old paperwork. I didn't look inside. I was trying to humiliate her, and I grabbed the wrong bag." "You meant to throw actual trash at my wife," Marcus said, his voice dangerous. "She deserves it," Linda hissed. I carefully folded the ledger and put it back in the bag with the cash. "I think we need to leave now." "If you walk out that door with my money," Linda threatened. "Your money?" Marcus cut her off. "Call whoever you want, Mom. We're taking this to a lawyer tomorrow morning." That night, Marcus and I sat at our kitchen table with the cash spread out and the ledger photographed from every angle. "I can't believe my own mother did this," Marcus said for the 10th time. "The ledger is incredibly detailed," I said. "She documented everything. Account numbers, dates, amounts. Why would she keep such perfect records?" "Dad always made her account for spending," Marcus remembered. "She probably kept records out of habit, thinking she'd need to justify it to someone eventually." I pulled up my laptop. "I'm looking at your father's will again. It specifically states that the trust was to be divided equally 3 ways after estate taxes. So legally, Daniel and I should each get about $600,000, Marcus calculated. If Mom took $350,000 for herself, that's on top of her third. She stole from both of you, I said. My phone rang. It was Marcus's Uncle Thomas, Robert's younger brother. Valentina, hi, I answered on speaker. Valentina, Marcus just texted me about what happened tonight, Thomas said.
I need to tell you something. Robert called me 2 weeks before he died. He was worried about Linda moving money. Marcus leaned forward. He knew? He suspected, Thomas said. He was too weak to stop her, but he made me promise to watch the estate. I've been trying to get access to the accounts for months, but Linda blocked me as executor. We have evidence now, I said. She kept a detailed ledger of every withdrawal. Thomas went quiet. She documented her own fraud? Every transaction, Marcus confirmed. Dates, amounts, account numbers. Plus, we had $350,000 in cash that she literally threw at Valentina. That woman's arrogance finally caught up with her, Thomas said. I know a great estate attorney, Rachel Chin. She handled a similar case last year. The next morning, we sat in Rachel Chin's office with the ledger, photographs of the cash, and copies of Robert's will. This is one of the most clear-cut cases of estate fraud I've seen, Rachel said, flipping through the documentation. Your mother-in-law essentially created a confession. What are our options? Marcus asked. We can file a civil suit to recover the funds plus damages, Rachel explained. We can also report this to the police. Estate fraud of this amount is a felony. I want my brother to know everything, Marcus said. Daniel deserves to understand what Mom did to both of us. That afternoon, Daniel came to our house. We showed him everything. 6 months, Daniel said quietly, staring at the ledger. She was stealing from us for 6 months, and I had no idea. She was careful, I said. Small withdrawals spread across different accounts. If she hadn't kept this ledger, we might never have known the full extent. Why throw it at you? Daniel asked me. She wanted to humiliate me in front of the family, I said. She grabbed what she thought was trash from Robert's office. She didn't check inside first. Emma, Daniel's wife, shook her head. She's always been cruel to you, Valentina, but this is beyond anything I imagined. What do we do now? Daniel asked. Marcus looked at his brother. We fight back, together. We get our inheritance back, and we make sure Mom faces consequences for what she did to Dad's legacy. Daniel nodded slowly. I'm in. What's the plan? Rachel had given us advice that morning. First, we secure the evidence. Then we confront Linda with the family present as witnesses. Then we file legal action. We need Uncle Thomas there, Marcus said, and anyone else who knew Dad well enough to understand what this means. I pulled out my phone. Let's start making calls. We arranged a family meeting at Thomas's house 3 days later. Linda arrived thinking it was just a casual gathering. Why is everyone looking so serious? Linda asked as she walked in. Thomas gestured to a chair. Sit down, Linda. We need to talk about Robert's estate. What about it? She saw Rachel with a briefcase. Who's this? Rachel Chin, estate attorney, Rachel said. I represent Marcus and Daniel. Linda's face went pale. I don't have to listen to this. Yes, you do, Thomas said firmly. Sit. Marcus placed the ledger on the coffee table. This is about the $350,000 you stole from Dad's trust. I didn't steal anything, Linda shouted. Then explain this, Daniel said, opening the ledger. Your handwriting, your account numbers, every withdrawal documented. Linda's eyes widened. Where did you get that? You threw it at me, I said. Remember? You called it trash. That's not... I can explain, Linda stammered. Rachel opened her briefcase. This ledger shows systematic withdrawal of funds, beginning while Robert was still alive. Total amount, $350,000. Robert wanted me to have that money, Linda insisted.
Dad's will says equal three-way split, Marcus said. Thomas leaned forward. Robert called me before he died, Linda. He told me he was worried about you moving money. Linda's face crumpled. He was dying anyway. That money should have been mine. So you admit you took it, Rachel said, making a note. I earned it, Linda streamed. 20 years with that man. You sacrificed nothing, Daniel said coldly. Dad loved you. He provided everything, and you stole from his sons while he was dying. Emma spoke from the corner. Linda, how could you do this to your own children? They're not my children, Linda spat. They're Robert's brats. I never wanted them. Marcus flinched. We always knew you resented us, but we never thought you'd steal. I want that money back, Linda said suddenly. The cash you took from my house. That cash is evidence, Rachel interjected. It's in a secure location. Linda turned to Thomas. You're going to let them do this? Robert would be furious. Robert would be devastated, Thomas said quietly. At you, Linda. You betrayed everything he stood for. What do you want? Linda asked, her voice breaking.
Our inheritance restored, Marcus said. All of it, plus damages and legal fees. And we're reporting you to the police, Daniel added. Estate fraud is a felony. Linda jumped up. You can't! I'm your mother! No, Marcus said flatly. You're the woman who robbed Dad's estate. That's all you are now. 2 weeks later, the entire extended family gathered at Thomas's house. Marcus's Aunt Susan arrived first. I heard what Linda did. Is it true? Every word, Daniel confirmed. Linda walked in last, not expecting everyone. What is this? An intervention, Thomas said. Sit down. I don't have to. Sit down. Thomas's voice left no room for argument. Linda sat, scanning the room. Marcus's cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone was there. Did you steal $350,000 from Robert's estate? Susan asked. It wasn't stealing, Linda said defensively. It was my money. Robert's will said otherwise, Thomas replied. Try again. Linda's voice rose. I deserved that money. 20 years of marriage. You got your third, Daniel said. You weren't entitled to ours. Marcus's cousin Jennifer spoke up. Linda, my father lent you $50,000 last year. You said you had cash flow problems. Were you lying? Linda's face reddened. That was different. Where's my $50,000? Jennifer's father asked. I'll pay you back, Linda muttered. With stolen money? He pressed. Emma leaned forward. Linda, you threw cash at Valentina and called her trash. Why? She doesn't belong in this family, Linda said viciously. But stealing does? Emma shot back. Linda turned to Marcus. Please, sweetheart, I'm your mother. We can work this out. No, Marcus said simply. I made a mistake, Linda tried. I'll return everything. Just don't press charges. Too late, Rachel said. The civil suit is filed. The police report is submitted. Linda's voice turned desperate. Thomas, please. Robert wouldn't want this. Robert called me from his deathbed, Thomas said. He begged me to watch over his son's inheritance. He knew you couldn't be trusted. Susan stood. Linda, you're no longer welcome at family gatherings. Not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, nothing. You can't do that, Linda protested. We can, Jennifer said. We've all discussed it. You're out. One by one, family members stood. You're not welcome in my home, Marcus's Uncle Peter said. Don't call me, his Aunt Rachel added. You're dead to this family, another cousin stated. Linda looked around wildly. Over money? Over theft, Daniel corrected. Over betraying Dad. Over humiliating Valentina. Over lying to us for months. I'll be alone, Linda whispered. That's what happens when you steal from family, Thomas said. Linda turned to me. Valentina, please. You can convince them. I'm sorry. I'll apologize publicly. I met her eyes steadily. No. Please, Linda begged. I'll give everything back. This isn't about what I want, I said calmly. This is about justice. You don't get to apologize your way out. We're done here, Marcus said. Rachel will be in touch about settlement negotiations. And if you don't cooperate, Daniel added, we'll push for maximum penalties. Linda started crying. I have nowhere to go. You should have thought of that before you documented your own crimes, Susan said. Emma walked over to me. Valentina, I'm sorry you dealt with her cruelty. You've always been family to us. Other family members echoed the sentiment. Linda looked around. Please, someone, anyone. Silence. Thomas opened the door. Time for you to leave, Linda. She stood shakily. You're really going to let this happen? You did this to yourself, Marcus said. We watched her walk out alone. No one followed. After she left, Thomas poured drinks. To Robert, who raised good men and left clear instructions. We raised our glasses. 3 months later, Linda settled and returned the full amount plus damages. She accepted a plea deal with probation and restitution. She sold her house to pay legal fees. She tried calling Marcus and Daniel. They never answered. I learned something important. Revenge isn't about getting even. It's about justice and reclaiming your dignity. When Linda threw that bag at me, she handed me the evidence that destroyed everything she'd stolen. Have you ever watched someone's arrogance lead to their complete downfall? Sometimes the worst enemies are the ones we create ourselves. Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.